Hi there, I'm all set up in my basement studio, and you can see that I have some homemade easels here that can accommodate bigger canvases and also allows me to step away from the canvas and see what I'm doing. I really like working on big canvases because you can use big brushes, and it's not true that it takes longer to do a bigger canvas. I have some lighting, extra lighting set up here because I am in the basement, and later on I'll take my painting upstairs to check it. Over here I have my sketch that I did en plein air, so I'm going to use that as my reference, and on my other side I have a digital image that I can refer to as well. On the canvas here I've marked my midpoint with chalk and also the thirds where I want to kind of arrange the drawing around. So I like to use chalk just to make sure I like my design because I am scaling up, and then we'll go into sketching with the paint. I've mixed up a gray from ultramarine and burnt sienna and some white, and I'm going to use that for the birch trees. You probably wonder why I have this pink background. If you're painting a lot of white, it's handy to have a toned canvas, and I was going for orange, but it came out pink. Anyway, the birch trees, when you take off the bark, the inside does look kind of pinky orange, so that will be added to it. Okay, so the reason I like to sketch it in a bit with the paint this way, just a bit of line, is because it's kind of complicated with the tree trunks and the shadows and the landscape rolling like this. So I don't want to get lost in my own painting. I'm just going to give an indication of where the bush is behind the cedar, the spruce bush behind the birch grove. Ready to do the sky now, and I'm going to approach it in two steps. One is a lighter cerulean near the horizon more, and then going more to an ultramarine up there. And I'm using one of my favorite brushes, a big round brush. Now ultramarine. time to put the shadows in, and I'm going to start with some ultramarine and then let the shadows go a little lighter towards the back. I've been out for a walk to clear my head and to get a good look at the birches again, and I found a branch of the new growth in our yard and some of the bark that had come off. And if you look, the color is a little bit oranger than this, a little bit paler, but I see rust and I see ochre and I see orange, so that'll probably be shining through the trunks. I'm going to start with the shadow side and come back to the gray that I started with, and try to make the trees look different one from the other. Not all the same, not all the same brush strokes, not all the same thickness of paint. When I went for my walk, I went back to look at this grove one more time, but this time the sun is out, it's 10 degrees, the wind is blowing and everything's melting, and I was up to my knees in snow, but it was good just to see it one more time, especially if you're used to plein air. You want to check, you want to look up and see. So I try not to paint like 3 hours, 4 hours in a row, but take breaks, have a walk, and then you come back to the painting with fresh eyes. So now to paint. You notice I extended this one because I didn't want the bottom just to be cut off. When I was walking, I noticed that the core shadow is darker, and then as the trunk turns again, it gets lighter. Got most of the background in now. I've got the trees designated. You can see the color of the panel still coming through, transparent, but I don't mind that right now. Now I have two round brushes, and one has alizarin crimson and one has more dark tones on it. And I'm going to try to show the branches of the trees. The ones in the back will be lower, and the ones in the front go a little higher. And we'll try to put the light shining on it, the shadow, the color of the buds. So that's a little bit of work to do now. I've got to the point where I want to fill in more of the whites and eventually on the trees. Well, it's almost 5 o'clock. Time for artists to put the brushes away for the night. I'm gonna let the painting dry and then see if we need any more lines or shapes or colors. But I'm pretty satisfied for today what we've accomplished. So that's it for today. Bye now.